Cheers, everybody. Welcome back. This is Good Bets, Good Times, the podcast for all of my fellow recreational DGens looking to level up their sports betting game and, of course, have a good damn time doing it. I am your host, Nate Tuttle with NT Sports. Thank you once again for tuning in. Oh, man. It's a Guinness kind of night. You know, cold, wintry night in central Ohio. It's like 20 degrees outside. Gonna sit here, talk some ball, and, sip on a little Guinness. By the time this show ends, maybe we'll dabble in a little bit of bourbon. If it's, your first time listening to the show, no, I don't get trashed on all of my podcasts. Just, like to have a little drinky drink while we talk some football and some sports betting, right? So if you want to join us, got a packed show today. We're going to recap the weekend, college football playoffs, quarterfinals, NFL playoffs. We had 5 straight days of playoff football between college and NFL, Thursday straight through to Monday. It was an awesome, eventful weekend. We'll get into all that here in a second, and we'll also preview the upcoming weekend. We got more playoffs. We got divisional round playoff games in the NFL. We have a national championship Monday night. So let's dive right in. Go ahead and join me. Grab your favorite beverage, kick back, and let's talk some ball, shall we?
I love guys who like football. And guys who like football, they like me back, and I like them back.
Awesome. And outside of the playoffs, man, how about the NFL coaching carousel right now? There's been just some major changes going on in the NFL with the coaching ranks. FC North, there's only one man standing. That's Zach Taylor with the Bengals. Somehow he survives. Harbaugh gone. Stefanski gone. Oh, Mike T, Coach Tomlin, he gone, stepped down. It was time. It was sad, but it was time. As a Steelers fan who's endured the past decade of Steelers football, it's time for a change. No disrespect to Coach Tomlin. Great coach, great leader of men, but sometimes when you're with an organization for so long, it's time to move on. It's time for a change. It's time to freshen things up a little bit. And that's what the Steelers need, is a full reset. So best of luck in retirement, Coach Tomlin. Appreciate everything you've done for the Steelers. But it's a new era of Steelers football. I'm pretty pumped. It's going to be a fun offseason. As much as I'm going to enjoy the next few weeks of NFL playoff football, the offseason is going to be pretty wild for me personally as a fan, but also from a betting standpoint, just diving into these new coaching changes that are going to be popping up across the league. We got free agency kicking off. We'll have the draft. We'll be heads down in college basketball. We'll talk a little bit of football throughout February, March, early April. Once college basketball season's over, once the tournament ends in early April, it is full go football season. We'll start all of our previews, start diving into futures bets, break down NFL, college football, all the conferences, all summer long, which I'm pumped about. We started this podcast back in May with the initial episode and spent the entire summer doing just that, talking about each college football conference, talking about our futures, and here in the next couple of weeks, I think the last episode we'll do will also be a recap. We'll talk about everything that we put in, all of our futures bets that we put in last summer, see how we did, recap the season, end it on that, and then we'll dive into some college basketball for a few weeks before we get back into the swing of football season. Right after the draft, most likely, early May, maybe before the draft. We will see. But let's go ahead and recap the weekend. The good, the bad, the what the fuck. So how do we do? Well, we were 7-0 in college football to start 2026 from New Year's Day up until last Thursday. Now we are 7-2. We lost both of the college football quarterfinals game. We were on Ole Miss plus 3.5. And that one closed at 3. I thought that was a good bet. It landed 4. Man, what a game though. Played out just like we talked about last week. Back and forth game. We were putting our trust in Trinidad and Chambliss to keep that game close, and Ole Miss was never out of it. It came down to the last possession, and kudos to Carson Beck. I was waiting for him to make a big mistake and end that game, but he didn't do it. Ole Miss defense couldn't get a stop at the end. couldn't really get many stops throughout the entire game, and they had to settle for some field goals down in the red zone early in the game. Couldn't punch in touchdowns. They had their chances, but kudos to Miami going on to the national championship game this weekend. But it's an L for us. Oregon as well. I was going to save this one, but we're going to talk about it now. This is just this is a bad. We're going to put this in the bad column. Just straight up terrible. Oregon in the playoffs once again gets blown out. And a game that I had projected being fairly close. I had it. My projections were 2, Indiana -2. So we got a 4.5. I think this went down to 3.5 by kickoff, and it was a no-doubter. Pick 6, first play of the game, offensive play of the game for Oregon. And it was all downhill from there. Fumble in the red zone, put up Indiana 21-7, and it was game over. Indiana doesn't let up. They're not a team that's gonna change their game plan when they get a lead. Every drive, every possession, it's as Signetti said, it's 0-0. They're gonna go score. They're gonna do their thing, and they did, and it got ugly real quick. So sayonara Oregon Ducks. And NFL, we went 3-3 in our pregame bets. We did have one live. We jumped in live on the Jaguars Bills over. Got that at 46.5. Got in early. Slow start to the game. It's actually getting a little worried about the over later in the game, but they both teams exploded for points in the fourth quarter. So I got home there. So that put us over. I mean, 3-3 on pregame bets, down 0.2 units. And we, with the live bet, put us over. This is a half a unit bet, so just barely in the green on the NFL. So decent start to NFL. Would like to a couple games there that we were just bad. Firstly, good though. We did have Eagles 49ers under. That was a no sweat. Under 46.5 came home for us. Also Chargers Patriots under as well. Also not a problem. Got that home. We're not totals bettors. I don't really dive into totals. Really just postseason. I think when there's less games, there's less betting opportunities. That's when I kind of expand the betting board a little bit and dive more into totals, especially when you only have 6 games over the weekend. So went 2-0 in totals plus that live bet. That's 3-0. Sides, not too great. We had Jacksonville. Stupid. I mean, we said Jacksonville, I think overall has the better team, the better roster, but they don't have Josh Allen. And that's what it came down to. Josh Allen playing superhero ball in the same spot this weekend too. That game, we got it at plus 1.5 with the Jags. We had them projected at -1, so not a ton of value there, but it did flip. So, I mean, it went to -1.5. We got CLV, the whole thing, and it didn't matter. Didn't matter. Josh Allen does what he does, wins close games, especially when the Bills are underdogs. And Trevor Lawrence does what he does, plays great at times, and makes some costly mistakes that pick the end of the game at the end. Didn't even give him a chance to go down and win that game. So Jags was an L. Green Bay, yeah, last Saturday as well. Green Bay, we had the Packers, and that one was looking good too. Man, they're up to 21-3 at one point. And Chicago's done what they've done all season. They've pulled out games that they probably shouldn't have won. But credit to the Bears. Second half, they came roaring back. We're down 16 in the fourth quarter, and Green Bay couldn't get anything done. So Packers blew another one. Chicago has another miraculous comeback, and there we go. That's a loser. Had Green Bay on the money line. And I'll say the totals. The other side winner we had was the Niners, and this was, we called this one completely disrespectful. This got up to 6 at one point. We got it minus or plus 5.5 on the Niners. We had this game projected out at 2. Philadelphia by 2. And it got up to 6 after we bet it. And I was sitting there like, what is going on with this? Why are people still pounding the Eagles? What is the disrespect with the Niners? The Eagles team is not the team of last year. And that's what we saw. They couldn't get it done. Niners came in, didn't play the best game, but I trusted Brock Purdy. I trusted Kyle Shanahan in a close game. And I didn't pick him. I didn't take the money line. I didn't pick him to win outright, but 5.5, 6 points, that's way too much in a game like this. With an elite coach and a quarterback like Brock Purdy who's going to make plays when the game's on the line, something that Jalen Hurts could not do. So Niners win outright. They move on. Last but not least, the what the fuck from the weekend. My Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh my God. We got this at +3. We had this projected Houston -1.5. I wanted a 3.5, didn't get it. It moved, didn't come back. So we got on a 3, fairly decent juice, -107. So this was a Monday night home game, playoff game. I talked about it last week. This was a Steelers, a Pittsburgh organization, a city, a fan base, a coach, a quarterback, a roster who is starved for a playoff victory. And it couldn't have gotten worse. First half, the defense battled, kept him in the game. May have more been on Stroud, just continuously fumbling and throwing interceptions and turning the ball over. But, I mean, this Houston Texans defense is on another level right now. We'll talk about the Patriots game coming up here in a second where we lean there, but it's if they play defense like this throughout the remainder of the playoffs with the teams that are left in this thing in the AFC, Houston's got a real shot. They got a real shot. If Stroud can cut down on the turnovers, which is something that we've seen him make mistakes, but not to this level. And I know it's a playoff game. He's got playoff experience. This is his third playoff win. He's 3-0 in the wild card round. It's a game in the league. So, but the second half, Steelers offense could not do anything. Aaron Rodgers is cooked. O-line, one of the worst offensive line performances I've seen in a very long time. My microphone's all jacked up here. There we go. And so terrible performance. No show in the second half for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What the fuck? And that obviously led to Tomlin realizing the writing's on the wall. I need to step away. I need to move on from this. It sounds like he's going to retire. I don't see him coaching again, to be honest with you. We will see. For the time being, I don't think he's going to coach next year. It sounds like he's going to chill out for a while. But, Pittsburgh Steelers, toast. It's a new era, though. It's a new era. Let's see what's going to happen next year. All right, let's take a look at this weekend. We got some ball games this weekend. All these games are, projected to be fairly close. The biggest spread we have is that Seahawks-Niners game. I got to play on that. It's the one play that I actually have locked in so far. And I got a couple of mine up. We'll talk about those and see if we can convince ourselves to get down on anything. Take it from the top. Let's go Bills Broncos. This is Saturday, 4:30 on CBS. This is out in Denver. The Broncos opened up as a dog. This was Bills -1.5 when this game dropped. Total was at 46.5. Both have moved. Totals dropped to 45.5, and Broncos are now the favorite. Same exact scenario as last week with the Bills and the Jaguars. And just like the Bills-Jaguars game, I'm projecting Denver to be just a half-point favorite. So slightly less, not enough for me to bounce on this. Would have got him at a dog if I was going to bet this, but I don't see any value in either side here, and I'm sure as hell not going to bet against Josh Allen one more time going up against Bo Nix. Granted, this Broncos defense is much, much better than what they faced in Jacksonville. And this Bills team put it on this Broncos team. This was at home, though, last year. Broncos are off the bye. a very rare occurrence. We don't see many number one seeds in the playoff open it up as underdogs. That is obviously flipped. We'll see if it goes back. We'll see if money comes back in on the Bills over the weekend. My projections tell me to take Denver to win this game slightly. This will be a money line. I need to get like a minus 110 on the money line. It's essentially a coin flip. And if you're going to give me a coin flip game with Mr. Superhero Josh Allen, I don't know how you can bet against it. Maybe the Broncos are the play. Maybe it's a defensive game. Maybe the Broncos defense steps up. Bo Nix makes enough plays. Sean Payton's a great coach. He schemes some things up against a very mediocre Bills defense. But at the end of the day, if this game's close and Josh Allen has the ball, he's going to find a way. It's what he does. Bills have been dogs 3 times this year, once last week. And they've won all 3 games. 3-0 as an underdog. Been a road dog once. That was last week. Won that game. So I do not recommend betting against Josh Allen as an underdog. Those wins came against the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Jaguars. And the Broncos, I mean, they've been solid. I mean, they've been, they're 10-2 as a favorite this year, 8-1 at home. So obviously there's some home field advantage there, but yeah, as far as the total goes too, I mean, it's down to 45.5. I'm projecting a 46.5, almost 50 on this game. I would lean over here just because of the Josh Allen factor. I think this game's going to drop just because of the Broncos defense, but not enough value here for me to take a total. Could be another live opportunity. Could be a slow start with these teams breaking it open in the second half. But this is a Broncos team who the last time they were at home as a short favorite a couple weeks ago, they played the Jags and they lost 34-20. Jaguars team the Bills just beat last week. So I think there could be points in this game. We'll see where this number goes. If it drops any lower, if it gets down to 44 range, maybe we'll pounce on the over there. But where it stands right now, stay away, both sides. Look forward to watching this game, Josh Allen versus this Broncos defense. It's Bo Nix in year 2. See what Sean Payton schemes up here, see what they can do, but should be a good one. Next up on Saturday, a game I am on. This is the Niners Seahawks. 3rd time they played this year. Week 1, Niners got Seattle at Seattle as 2-point favorites, 17-13. A couple weeks ago, we saw what happened in San Francisco, 13-3. Ugly game from the 49ers. Both these games have been super low scoring, 30 points in the first game. That was week 1, though, a long time ago, went way under the 43.5. 47.5 was the total the last time they played a couple weeks ago. That went way under, obviously, 16 points scored. So as far as the side goes, I got this at minus 7.5. It is down to 7. Let me see if there's any 7.5s left in this market. Nope, everything's down to 7 now. Okay, so we got a little bit of value there. Had to jump on the hook at the 7.5. This is a division rival game. 3rd time these guys have played. I know the 49ers. How long can they keep doing this? With all the injuries they've had. Now Kittle blew out his Achilles. George Kittle is out now. They're down another offensive weapon. We know how good the Seahawks team is, their defense is. We know how good Darnold's been playing. And I project this game at 6. So I got a 1.5 of value there. Lines moved in my favor. This is my favorite bet of the weekend. This is way too many points for this division rivalry game in the playoffs at Seattle, as close as these two teams have played this year. I don't expect the Niners to come in here and only put up 3 points like they did the last time. Shanahan's too good of a coach. Party's too good of a quarterback. They still got CMC. Will they win the game outright? I don't know. I think this is a game where there's going to be a lot of moneyline parlays, teasers. Everything's going to be attached to the Seahawks. Would I be surprised if the Niners win this outright? No. Do I want them to win? Yes. I do still have a Super Bowl. The first bet I made in the NFL was last February or March. I guess it was March after the Super Bowl. Plus 1,600 for the Niners to win the Super Bowl in a bounce back year. And I still think they can do it. This is Sam Darnold we're talking about here. If Robert Saleh can seam some things up and get in Darnold's head, he can, we've seen him blow up in these kind of spots. It happened last year in the playoffs. Give me Purdy, Shanahan. Give me my projections here at 6. I'm going to trust the numbers. Rivalry spot. Give me the Niners plus 7.5. Got that at minus 110. It's down to 7 now. Still would bet the 7. Why not? There's still some lower. I mean, you can get a minus 108. That's solid. Minus 109. Shop around a little bit. Try to find the best number you can. But if you can get this above 7, that's ideal. Below 7's probably too close. Your call, though. Just kind of see where the market goes. Total-wise, 40. It's down to 44.5. 45. 44.5. There's still 45s out there. This will be an over spot. I'm staying away from this total. I know both games went way under. It's the third time these teams have played. This is the playoffs. As good as the Seahawks defense has been, the Niners, they've seen this twice so far this year. They beat them once. And if I was going to bet a total, it would be over. After did all the games go under last week? I think all the games went under last week. And all the totals have dropped. So since every game this weekend, every total that came out has since went down since the opener. Some quite significantly. So I think at this point, I don't think there's any undervalue left on the board. But there could be some opportunities if these numbers keep dropping. Monitor the market over the next couple of days, especially going into Saturday, Sunday, and see if there's some over opportunities here or even some live. I like betting totals live. See how the game flow is early on, and then make an assessment if you think, these teams kind of turn it up in the second half. One bet there. Moving on to Sunday. This is the 3 o'clock game on Sunday. Texans-Patriots. This is going to be a good game. This game opened Patriots -3, over under 41. Total is down to 40.5. So it's dropped a point in some spots. And the spread we are seeing, I thought I saw some 3.5s. Yeah, there's a couple of 3.5s that have popped up. The 3s are all juice, so this is probably going to go to 3.5 at most of the books now. It's 3.5 across the board. I think that would be the buy point for me. I have New England -2. So at 3.5, I have no choice. The 3.5s are at -115 right now. Let's see if we can get something a little bit better here. But I do like this Patriots team. I do like Drake May. I love Coach Vrabel. He's one of our favorite coaches to back against the spread, especially in big spots, playoff spots. But I think what we saw from the Texans defense last week is just the tip of the iceberg. This team can play. Stroud can play. So I got this as a close game. I thought the same thing about the Chargers. I didn't bet that game other than the total. This could be another one where we look under, but like I said, this is already at 40.5. Got the total at 43. I see this being a defensive battle. I mean, if you are going to bet a total, I would have to bet under. I don't support that with a numbers perspective, which is why I'm staying away. But I will bet the 3.5. I haven't locked it in yet. Maybe I'll wait another day or two to see if the 3.5s flatten out a little bit, or if I can get some better value in the number. But I would still, -115. That's probably a number I'll jump on. I'm trying to see what other numbers are out here. Yeah, it's a good bet in my book. I feel like that'll come back down too. Texans. Worst case, it's a 3-point game, so take the hook. Give me the Texans defense to keep this close, to grind this out. The running game looked great last week. Hasn't looked that good most of the season. Their offensive line's always a concern. The Patriots defense is solid. I don't think they're great by any means. I think Stroud and this offense can move the ball on them. So, yeah, 3.5 with the Texans. And then last but not least, another game that I would love to bet. It's going to be tough to get there. I may end up going money line with the Rams, but I love the Rams this weekend. I know, second straight road game. They were huge favorites against the Panthers. Panthers actually gave them a ball game. The game was super close. And I think this game is going to be super close as well. You can't count the Bears out. Bears are 11-6-1 ATS this year. The Rams are 12-5. Time and time again, Caleb Williams has proved, and he is proving that I think he plays better when the deck's stacked against him, when there's a little bit of adversity, when they're down, when he has to make plays, when he has to scramble around and make some incredible throws. When the game's on the line, that's what he's done. Ben Johnson is also proven that he's outstanding coach. But he's going against the experience of Stafford and McVay. My projections are Rams by 4. This game's up to 4 at some spots too, so it is moving up. The side is a little bit too close for comfort. I may try to wait this one out and see if I can get a decent money line here. It's going to be high. I mean, I'd prefer something around like a minus 175. Would probably take something under minus 200 as a minus 195 out there. But I have a hard time believing the Rams don't win this game. But the Bears keep surprising. They keep surprising us. As soon as you count them out, I bet against them last week, got burnt. I bet against them a few times this year. And every time they've burnt me. Wouldn't be surprised to do it here again. This is another one where this total was very high. It opened around 51, I believe, and it's down to 48.5 in most places. I know there's some weather in Chicago this weekend. Another game where I got in the 50s. I think this could evolve into a shootout. Let's see what the weather does, though. This may keep dropping. I know it's going to be cold. I know it's going to be ugly. And speaking earlier of the coaching carousel, how about the teams trying to swipe all the Rams coordinators? Could that have an effect? Are these guys out there interviewing for multiple coaching positions right now? Sean McVay's not. So I trust that he's still going to have things buttoned up, even with some of his coordinators traveling around interviewing for jobs. Could it have an effect? Possibly. The Bears are locked in. The Bears are focused. But yeah, this may be one we end up betting this weekend. We'll see where this line goes. If I can get a decent money line, I'd prefer that. We'll see if it drops back down. I'd take a 3 on the Rams, and I'd take a money line. Like I said, probably under minus 200. I'd prefer more like a 175. I think that is around the value that I'd look for in a money line. Yeah, about 170, 175. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. And then total just depends on the weather. I mean, it's dropping. I'd probably stay away at the 48.5. It's already dropped 3 points. Over 50, the 51.5 at the opener, if you could have got that, that's a bet. I could see why that dropped so quickly. I have this projected to 50. But if it goes any lower, I mean, I don't know. I'm not, I know it could be windy. Could be a running game. These are two great offensive minds dueling against each other. Against two good, but not great defenses. So, yeah, we'll see. I would prefer to bet an over here, but we got to wait and see how the weather's looking and where this line goes the rest of the weekend. So that wraps it up, folks. Out of these games, as it stands right now, we got one official bet locked in. That's 49ers plus 7.5. We have one bet that I'm going to lock in at some point. I don't know if this line will go back down to 3 before I get a chance to bet it. I may have to jump on the minus 3, minus 115. Maybe it goes higher. I don't know. But if that hook is out there tomorrow, going into Saturday, I'm going to have to grab it. That's Houston plus 3.5. That's going to be a bet one way or the other. And last but not least, I like the Rams to win outright. So I may try to get on a money line with the Rams. But we'll see where we go there. But, man, what a fun weekend of football. Take it all in, folks. We only got a few weeks left. Got divisional round this week, championship, and then a couple weeks from now, we got the Super Bowl. Got one more college football game, which we'll talk about now. That's Monday night, Indiana versus Miami. Now, this is a tricky game. So I don't even know if I'll bet a side in this game, to be honest with you. Here's why. I have a future already. I bet it right after they beat Ohio State. Got plus 450, I want to say, for Indiana. Got a full unit on that, so looking pretty good. I think I might just ride that out, just hoping Indiana wins the game. And just enjoy the game. I will say, though, the game is it's opened up at 7.5. It's been pushed all the way up to, honestly, I saw some 9s popping up at one point. I even saw a couple folks got 9.5s. They didn't last very long, though. This game settled in at minus 8.5. Most of the juice is leaning towards Miami, so obviously at the 9.5, this was bought back, which makes sense. I mean, my projections here are Indiana, we'll call it 8.5, 9, about 8.8, I think is the official number. So between 8.5 and 9, so 9.5, obviously, I see why folks jumped on that. At the opener, 7.5, it would have been Indiana bet. At 8.5, I mean, that's where the line should be. It's sitting in the middle of nowhere. So take your pick. pick your poison. Indiana's a juggernaut. They're going to win this game. There's no doubt about it. Cignetti's not going to be denied. He came to Indiana to turn this program around. What they've done in 2 years has been just outrageous. He's setting the bar pretty high for new coaches in college football. A bar that the vast majority are never going to achieve. Being able to take a program, one of the worst, if I think the losingest program in college football history, to a national championship in 2 seasons, knowing how to manage the portal. He's set the standard for, bringing in guys who are experienced, who are veteran, who may not be 5-star recruits, but guys who have proven, who have experience, who are proven that they can play football. And he brings in his kind of guys. And all he does is win. So he's going to win here too. Indiana wins this. I'm going to nail a future. Not a big one, but and plus I had also a little bit on Ohio State and Oregon. So there'll be a little less there, but overall, if Indiana wins, it'll be a profitable postseason as far as national championship futures bets go. So love that. I mean, this would need to be, for Indiana, I would prefer under 8, probably a 7. I would bet Indiana at 7. I'd bet Miami at 10. Just judging by the numbers, but I'm not betting against Curt Cignetti. I mean, this gets over 10, I kind of have to. Because to Miami's point, I mean, Carson Beck is a veteran quarterback. They've proven against Ohio State, and then against last week at Ole Miss, they've won in different ways. They won a defensive battle at Texas A&M, grinded one out. They, punched Ohio State right in the face from the beginning of that game. Defense won that for them too, shut down the Buckeyes offense. And dominated in the run game. And they came back last week, and they won a close game, a back and forth, a battle with a great offensive team. So with Indiana, they're getting all that. They're getting Ohio State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, all the best things from all 3 of those teams, all wrapped up into one. That's your Indiana Hoosiers. So they got that work cut out for them. But I do think with how good they are in the trenches, this could end up being a game just like Indiana, Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship. It's going to be a grinder. It's going to be close. Indiana's not going to be denied. They're going to win this game outright. So if I did bet a side at the number it stands now, I'd bet Miami just because this, for a national championship game of these 2 caliber of teams, this number's way too high. As far as the total goes, where are we sitting total? I don't have anything on the total here. It is 47.5. It dropped a point. I mean, under would be the play there, but no interest in that total. Just the way Indiana plays. If they get some momentum, they get out to a few scores, they force a couple turnovers, this could turn into another bloodbath They're putting up 40. I lean towards this being a close game throughout most of the game. Maybe Indiana pulls away late and covers the 7.5, 8.5. But with Miami's run game, with their defensive line, I think they can keep it competitive. This should be a good one. Looking forward to it. And that wraps it up, folks. Outside of football, yeah, we are obviously into college basketball. We've been betting college basketball since day one, since November. I don't talk about it much in the pod just because there's just so many games. It's every single day. And during football, I don't have the time to sit here and talk and break down what I'm betting in college basketball. I will tell you this. I'm getting my face kicked in. I'm not doing well in college basketball. I started off good November, most of December. Past few weeks, though, I think something with conference play. I mean, my process, my projections, everything is still newish. That's why I don't talk about it much. I don't post about it much. I'm still working on some things. I'm hoping by next year I can have it dialed in and really dive. Actually, hoping by mid-February. I know last year, February and early March was prime time. Once football ended, and I was really able to devote the majority of my time to college basketball. And after, a month and a half or so of conference games, I think that's where we get tripped up. At least I do. That transition from the non-conference early schedule with these teams playing a wide variety of competition, from some teams playing, Division II teams to, playing bottom 300 teams that they're blowing out by 40 points, to some of these tournaments where, you got top 10 teams playing every week. But it's really hard to get a gauge going into conference season how these teams are going to perform. And then numbers might be skewed a little bit. It's things that I got to learn, things got to figure out. Things that take time if you want to do this right and you actually, want to bet with process. You want to make good bets. You want to learn the market. And sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error if you want to do this yourself. I will say, though, you don't need to model college basketball. There's plenty of free models out there in college basketball that will give you a decent baseline. Obviously, you got your Ken Palms, got your Bart Torvik, your Haslam. TeamRankings.com is solid. There's a few other ones out there, too. If you just want to get a ballpark, a baseline projection for what a number should be, and then leverage the market. There's also, some betting scandals still going on. Another one dropped today in college basketball. So be wary of those low mid-major games that nobody's paying attention to. There's some wacky things going on in those markets. And those lines are moving like crazy, sometimes for no reason. They don't make any sense. And, we got 17 teams over the course of the 2024-2023 season who were throwing games. So just be wary, tread lightly in college hoops. Trying to stick a lot of my sides to some of the mainstream games where there's more info, there's a more bigger market that I can assess and read and kind of compare to what the projections I'm seeing are. But, college basketball is tricky. If you're a devoted, I know there's money to be made in college basketball. If you're a devoted, 100% all-in college basketball bettor, with there being 365 teams and so many games every single night, it's impossible for the books to lay perfect lines. And if you know what you're doing, you can find a lot of value and win a lot of money in college basketball. But I'm a football first bettor. After football, it is college basketball. That's the one other sport that I really get into, really love to play. And hoping we can turn it around. We'll go with some numbers. Why not? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it here. What we got so far? Yeah, I'm down. That's college football. Where's my college basketball numbers here? After a strong start going into, like I said, going into, I think it was around going into that break. They had a week off during the holidays where there weren't really any college basketball games for about 5 days. Through there, I was about breaking even. And then Week 9 hit, and we dropped 4 units in week 9, got crushed. Week 10, we lost 3 more units, got crushed again. And then this week, week 11, we're even. So, could be a lot worse. There's a lot of ball left to play, and we're dabbling in game here, game there, and we'll crank it up. We'll be good to go by March Madness. I won't have too many podcasts about college basketball because, like I said, it's not my number one sport. We'll talk mostly football from here on out on this podcast. I'll touch a little bit on March Madness. Might do a March Madness preview episode once the tournaments kick around. We'll see where it goes, though. But once again, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like and follow and subscribe and all those fun things that you do with podcast. Leave a comment, rate, review. Helps us out a ton. Keep growing this thing. This is episode 23, I believe. And we're trucking right along. Love doing this. Want to keep doing it. Looking to get some more potential co-hosts on in the future. Rolling into next season. And follow us on all the socials as well. If you want to follow our bets, our shitty college basketball bets, and all of our football bets in real time, follow us on the Action app at NT Sports 22. We're on all the socials. We'll be posting some clips. Actually, remember to turn my video on this time, so I actually might have some clips to put out on Instagram and TikTok, and we post a ton on X as well. NT Sports 22. Give us a follow, interact, comment, like. And that wraps it up. So once again, everybody, good luck this weekend. Enjoy the last few weeks of football season while we still can. Bet smart, stay sharp, and until next time, cheers, everybody.